Hey, Felicia. What's up? All right, let me get my headphones going. Boom. Let some people in. Felicia, you're sideways. What's up, guys? How you doing? All right. So we'll give people a couple minutes to show up because I have to allow people into the meeting room. So I will. I'll go ahead. Give people a couple minutes, and then we'll go from there. So, ooh. All right, Saturday. Gil's here. Admit. Awesome. Awesome. Everyone's Saturday's going well so far. So what you're gonna need, guys, is a piece of paper, just some quiet and just time to focus. But like I said, we'll give people another minute or two. This will take anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. If you have questions at any time, feel free to I'd say raise your hand, but you can go in the chat. We'll also leave some time for questions at the end, but we'll give people another minute or two just so it's easy for me to allow people into the meeting since it's a locked meeting. But we'll get started here soon. All right, admit. All right, keep another minute. Perfect. Everyone got their water? Got your water? Maybe it's coffee. I don't know. Maybe you're having a drink. Nice, Kim. Nice. Is there a spot for a straw to put in there? There is? How did I not notice that? Am I crazy? Wow.
It's
Maybe I'm not.
the convenience of it. See it?
Jeez,
Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive.
That's why it's so convenient.
It is. There's Kate. How you doing, Kate? Good to see you. Oh, Brandy's breaking out the Tito's vodka with a straw. That I don't think that's what we need to do on a Saturday afternoon, but whatever floats your boat. All right. Well, guys, we'll go ahead. If people join in, this will be recorded. So if you want to go ahead and look back at it, you can certainly do that. I'm going to go ahead and get my presentation up. I want to make this interactive. So if you have questions or anything, I have everyone on mute right now. But if you need anything, we will have some questions at the end. But also you can pop in. There's Norma. Let her in. You can pop in as well during the presentation. All right, let me get let's do a screen share. Screen share. Perfect. Boom. Let's get that. All right. See if I can get this set up. Present. All right. Everyone see that? See my screen? Cool. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for joining me today, taking time out of your Saturday. This is great. I know we have some mostly Adam Clark Fitness people here for this virtual presentation, but this is open to anyone, and this will be recorded. So just give yourself credit for showing up on Saturday and taking the time to spend with me over the next 30 to 60 minutes. You're gonna get a lot out of it. Okay, you're gonna get a lot out of it, and believe it or not, it's the second quarter of 2021, which is hard to believe, right? We're already in April. It's April 3rd. We'll blink again and it'll be summer. We don't really want that. I want summer, but we don't really want that to happen. We need to enjoy the process. So my question to you is, and I think I have a good answer. Let me admit one more person. I think I have a good answer and know your answer. Who wants to improve their lives? Right? Who wants to be physically, mentally healthier? Right? Who wants to have more confidence? Who wants to have more control of their lives? Right? I think you all do. You're here, and that's awesome. Because today I'm going to show you how to get back on track. I'm going to show you 10 strategies to build habits, supercharge your results, and really crush not only 2021, the rest of this year, but the rest of, oh, someone's on mute. Let me mute you. So if you can just mute yourself, guys, if you knock that out. We're gonna crush it. I'm gonna show you how. And so take a deep breath and let's get started. Who am I? Who am I? Well, that's me as a kid, and that's me now. So I've clearly been lifting since day one, and now I have a cardboard cutout of myself. So I've officially made it. I think once you get a cardboard cutout out of yourself, then you have made it big time, or so I like to think. But if most of you guys know me, I'm Adam Clark, Adam Clark Fitness in Brewer. We're a personal training studio, and we specialize in building community through exercise, right? Through exercise, and we do a lot more than just exercise. It's a fun, it's a family. We have a great time, and the journey from when I was lifting that barbell over my head till I got the cardboard cutout, it hasn't been linear. Oftentimes we think of our journey and we have this perfect plan, and it's just going to slowly go in the just a straight line, right? But the truth is that that doesn't happen, right? Your plan, you think it's going to be just a slight incline and go like that. But in reality, you're going to have peaks and valleys. You're going to have to climb the steps. You're going to have to swim. You're going to have to do a lot of those things and go over these obstacles, right? But that's what's going to build you into a stronger, healthier, more confident person. So, you ready for the 10 strategies? Here they are, right there. 10 strategies. Here's your checklist. The success checklist is right here. Perfect amount of sleep, perfect morning routine, perfect diet, perfect body, perfect workday, perfect relationships and family, lots of money, a Lamborghini. I mean, if someone's going to Lamborghini, right? A beach house, right? If you have those things, guys, if you have those things, then you're set. You're set. That's the perfect life. That's the perfect life. And how realistic is that? Realistic? No. So that's kind of what social media does. You ever go on Instagram and you see people on social media, right? The influencers, right? They have the perfect body. They're showing off their abs. They have the beach house. They have the sports car. Well, social media, it's not an accurate depiction of life, right? It's mostly a highlight reel. It's mostly a highlight reel. I love social media. It helps me build my business, helps me connect with people like you, helps me connect with our group at the gym. But most of these influencers are fake, and this success checklist, it's not a real thing. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. So what we need to do, we need to tap into real life. We need to tap into real life, and because that's where we're really going to make the difference, right? We need to be our influence is going to be in real life, not on social media. So our real life strategies, you ready for them? Strategy number one, you've heard this a million times. Strategy number one is morning routine, right? You've heard it a million times, but the morning routine helps you set the tone for the day, right? So the worst thing you can do is hit the snooze button. The worst thing you can do is hit the snooze button, because what is the snooze button essentially doing, right? If the morning routine sets the tone for the day, by hitting the snooze, that's your tone for the day. You're setting that tone. You're delaying what's about to happen for the day. Snooze button is the worst thing you can do. But if we can control our morning, if we can have a good morning, that helps set us up for the rest of the day. It allows us to control our schedules rather than our schedule controlling us, right? It allows us to feel better, think better, be in a better state, right? So let me ask you something. When you feel rushed, has anyone ever been late or running late? We all have. When you're running late, what are the emotions that you feel? Right? Do you feel tense, your blood pressure's high? uh, at least I feel that. Maybe you guys are different, but you're feeling like maybe you left something behind. You did I leave the This is a classic. So she's not here and maybe she won't watch it, but my wife Sarah, did I leave the curling iron on? or the straightener. Are those the same thing? I don't know. Curling iron, straightener? No, they're not. Different, but they're the long things, right? But when she's running late, that's what happens, right? So what you need to do, what is a good morning routine, right? That's up to you to find out. But here's one piece of advice. Here's one piece of advice. You just need to pick one thing, and that one thing, just complete one task. That could be as simple as making your bed, right? That could be as simple as making your bed. By completing that one task, right, you're ready for the day. You're setting the tone. I'm going to get stuff done for the day. What I don't want you to do, though, and a lot of people do this, is fit a ton of things in your morning routine, right? You can't keep adding stuff because then you get overwhelmed, right? Now, whether you're a morning person or not, do not make it overwhelming. You need to make it something where you're able to do it regularly. You're able to do it every morning. So, one task. What's that one task going to be? Right? Could be making your bed. My other advice, drink water. Drink water in the morning, right? We're dehydrated after we sleep. And stay off the phone. Who reaches for the phone first thing? Yep, we all do for the most part, right? We're addicted to that thing. We're addicted. So I do it from time to time, but that basically right there shows that your phone's going to control your day right there from the start. So don't do it. Okay. Start with one. Number two, guys, real life strategy number two, gratitude. What is gratitude? Right. This quote right here is great. It's not happiness that brings us gratitude. It's gratitude that brings us happiness. All right. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? Right. We all have something we're grateful for. And studies that show if you practice gratitude regularly, right? If you practice gratitude regularly, it's going to improve your mental health, right? And by golly, right now, like mental health, it's very important, right? It's more important now than ever, right? In the last year or so. And there was a recent study that I was checking out. Recent study. Most studies on gratitude, they go after and they target well functioning humans who don't have a history of depression, anxiety, things like that. But this study did target individuals with anxiety, depression, and some mental health issues, right? And these subjects, they performed gratitude writing, so journaling. What are they grateful for every night? Wrote gratitude letters. Didn't necessarily send them to people, but just the act of writing down what they're grateful for, right? That made a huge difference. It helped them shift from those toxic emotions. Say you have a bad day, right? So everyone's had a bad day. But at the end of the night, if you can just ask yourself or write it down, what am I grateful for? Right? One thing, that's going to help shift everything from that bad day. Right? That's going to help shift those emotions from those negative, toxic emotions to something more positive. Right? And gratitude, if you practice it regularly, is shown to have lasting effects. Right? You're grateful for something, right? Even if you've had the worst day in the world, there's something you're grateful for. You just need to express it. Express it, express it, express it. I love this one. I love this one. I could talk for a very long time on this subject. Daily movement, right? Daily movement. So daily movement. What is daily movement? It's all these things, right? It's all these things. It's playing basketball, it's riding a bike, it's walking, it's running, it's lifting weights, it's doing yoga, it's walking the dog, right? That's daily movement. That's daily movement. So how does it help us? Well, physically, daily movement's so important. So important. How do you build muscles? How do you build lean muscle mass? How do you get your cardiovascular system pumping? Right? Move. Right? How do you keep your weight in check? Move. Right? Decreases the risk of obesity, decreases the risk of other diseases. That's what movement can do for us. A healthier heart, healthier lungs, healthier body. What about mentally? What about mentally? Mentally, it can do a lot too. Mentally, it can do a lot too, right? Exercise, it's a mood booster, right? So if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling some depression, if you're not feeling great, right? By exercising, that can help get you in a better state, right? You're getting those endorphins flowing in the system, right? That's what it can do. And let me ask you this: have you ever regretted doing after doing a workout. Have you ever regretted it? Right? Probably not, right? You feel better. The only time I think I regretted it, and didn't fully regret it. 2013 Tough Mudder going up a mountain. That was terrible, but I finished it, so it was okay, right? But daily movement is super important. It's something we need to do. We need to do it. So my thing for you, don't overthink it. You just have to do it. Just because just because this person does a lot of weightlifting and stuff, that doesn't have to be you. That doesn't have to be you, right? And just move. I don't know about you, but running for me or walking, what that does is some of my best thinking is when I'm running or walking. That's super important. Daily movement. Can anyone relate to this one? Right? You are what you eat. Nutrition. Guys, in the last 30 years, things have changed. Things have changed. So listen to these stats right here. So in 2016, 40% of adult Americans were obese. 40%, 2016. Right? That number's probably gone up. I don't like the BMI calculation. Not a huge fan of it, but it's a metric. It's a metric. I don't believe that one metric is the telltale sign. But the truth is we're fairly unhealthy. We're a fairly unhealthy society as a whole, and that's not good. And one big thing is because our eating has changed. Our eating has changed over the years because in 1988, only 22% of adult Americans were obese. That's an 18% increase over the last 30 years. Why has that changed? Well, I mean, I think it's pretty simple. We have more processed stuff. We have more processed stuff out there. There's a drive-through on every corner. Through an app, you can DoorDash or Uber Eats or Grubhub. You can have something delivered in an instant. It's so easy. It's so convenient, right? There's also I couldn't find any studies on this, but we're always on the go, right? I believe family dinner time is sort of a thing of the past. It's less of a thing now, and I think when you have that family dinner time and you're at home and you're making that meal at home, you control what goes in it, right? As opposed to, oh, I'll pick up drive through, right? You don't know what's going in that. So our eating has certainly changed over the years. And another alarming thing is childhood obesity is also on the rise, right? And that's sad and it's not good. So childhood obesity, if these children are eating these bad foods and they're learning these habits at such a young age, right, that's going to be hard to undo. Can it be done? Yes, but if they're learning these things at an early age, that is not good. That's not good. So you have two pictures here. Got the one on the left with the unhealthy stuff, right? The unhealthy stuff. The one on the right with the healthy stuff. Okay. I want you to start thinking if you went out right now and bought a $50,000 vehicle, would you take care of it? Would you keep it clean? Would you do regular oil changes, regular maintenance, things like that? $50,000, right? Probably would, because that's quite an expense, right? Why don't we do that with our bodies? Do you think your body's worth more than $50,000? You only get one life. You can go buy another car, right? You need to start think of yourself as a luxury vehicle if you want to get in that sense. So feed it with premium fuel, right? Do regular maintenance. Do those things, right? If you want to take care of yourself, that's what you have to do, because ultimately you are what you eat. You are what you eat, right? Strategy number 5. How are we doing so far? Thumbs up, thumbs sideways. Yeah, nice smile, Norma. Nice. Awesome. 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 I love this one. I love this one, guys. Real life strategy number 5, be positive, because positivity always wins, right? We can get in those negative states, right? We all have them. You have to work at it. You got to work at it. Who's been in a funk before? You've been in a funk, right? And you've been in a negative mood. We all have, right? If you haven't, then you're a robot, right? Some people think I'm a robot, but Pretty good looking robot. No, all right, I'll stop. Uh, Picture this scenario, guys. Picture this scenario. So you're coming into work. You're coming into work, and you walk into work, and your coworker, they're complaining. Right, they're complaining about someone on the team talking behind them. They're talking about the bad weather, and it puts you in a bad mood. Who's been in that situation before? You've just walked into a room and someone's been just bitching, right? They've been bitching, and yeah, sorry, can I say that? I think I can say that. And it immediately puts you in a bad mood, and you just want to avoid that person. You want to avoid that person, and there's a reason for that. Those people are energy vampires, right? They suck the energy right out. They suck it right out, and it sucks the energy from you. It sucks that positive energy from you. And the truth is, when you're a negative person, and you're going to have negative moments, but if that's your state most of the time, right? If that's your state most of the time, then your outlook is not going to be as good, right? Your potential is going to be limited. It's going to be limited because that negative attitude and outlook, that's like a magnet pushing you away from your potential, right? It's going to keep you away from your full potential. Everyone who has goals, do you guys have goals? Of course you do. Of course you do. You got places you wanna go. You got things you want to achieve, right? You got big goals. Right? You wouldn't be here if you didn't. But without belief and a positive mindset, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. Without belief and a positive mindset, you're not going to get there. So, what does positivity do for you? What does positivity do for you? Well, first off, it's good for your health, right? If something's good for your health, you want to try it, right? So try being more positive. And positivity, like I said, it's like a muscle, right? So you have to practice it. If you do not practice positivity, what happens when we don't go to the gym for a long time or use certain muscles? It atrophies, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. So that's you need to treat positivity that same way, right? You have to practice it. It's like a muscle. Okay. So a study by John Hopkins, they surveyed people. There's a study. Those with a positive attitude are 13% less likely to have a cardiac event than those who possess the opposite. Right? That should want you to change right there. Because if you live in this fear state, this negative state, what do you think is going to happen? Right, you're going to live in this negative fear, stressed out state. That stress is going to cause mental and physical problems if you keep it up. Right, that's what's going to happen. And not to mention, no one really wants to be around a negative person. Who likes being around negative people? Right? No one does. No one does. Um, you know, when you're around negativity, really leads to giving up. Let's say, for instance, use an example. Say you applied for a job, and that job you didn't get. So you say, you know what, I'm just giving up. Right. So that would be the negative outlook. The positive outlook would be more solution based. How do I fix this? How do I become better? Well, I didn't get the job, but I'm gonna reach out to my boss and see what I can improve on. Maybe it's project management experience. And if that's what it is, I'm gonna ask to take the lead on the next project and work as a team more. That's a more positive outlook, right? So positivity is not just rah rah blah blah blah. Positivity, you really got to practice it. It can start with just a smile, right? It can start with just a smile, and that's important. Got some chat coming in. Crystal, however, you can be around negative people help. Yeah, I mean, it's important for they do. So negative people need positive people to pick them up. I mean, it's like the classic line, killing people with kindness, right? And hopefully they turn it around, and if not, then um, you know it is what it is. You can only do your best, right? And try to switch them. Guys, real life strategy number 6. Let's take ownership. We talk about it. We have one life, right? You control it. So we got to stop blaming people. Stop blaming people. Government didn't put you out of business. No one owes you anything. Food companies didn't make you fat, right? The pandemic isn't the reason for all your problems, right? Has it caused more stress? Absolutely. Of course it has. But that's not the reason. You have to take ownership. You have to take ownership of your life. And if you don't, if you allow people to control it, if you allow these uncontrollable factors to influence you, right? What's going to happen, right? You're going to live in this, you're never going to reach your potential because you all have a lot of potential. You all have really unlimited. We all have unlimited potential. You just got to believe it. You just got to believe it. And I talk about this a lot. It's about controlling the uncontrollable, right? Can you do that? No, of course you can't. Of course you can't. Are there going to be times when I'm guilty of it? You're going to be guilty of it, where you try to and you allow it to negatively influence you. That happens. That happens. But literally, the definition of uncontrollable is not controllable. You can't control it. So it's time to focus more on your inner circle, right? As opposed to the outer circle, which is your uncontrollables. What can you control? You can control your morning routine, right? You can control that. You can control your gratitude practice. You can control your daily movement. You can control your eating. You can control your mindset. Those are things you can control. Okay. Don't beat yourself up for the past. What you can't control is what's on the news, what's on social media, what someone else thinks about you. You can't control those things. That's outside of your control. You have to give it up. And the more of that you can give up, the less stress you're going to be. And the more focused you can be on something that really matters. And that's taking ownership of your own life. Okay. So the more you can focus on your sphere of control, the better you're going to be. Okay. Who needs this? Who needs this? I think we all do, right? Take a media detox. Who's addicted to this thing? I am. I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to it. So, smartphone. A study by Vox said the average adult American picks up their phone and opens it 58 times per day. I guarantee I do it more than that. I guarantee I do it more than that. Guaranteed. For younger adults, it's almost double that. Okay. So by opening up your brain, so when you're working at your desk, working on something, maybe it's just even reading a book or something, and you grab your phone and open it up. Going from task to task like that, you're using up more brain fuel. And that's going to cause your tiredness, mental fatigue, foggy brain. Okay, by just constantly switching from this to another task. If you're constantly looking at your phone and doing that, it's not good for your brain. Your brain can't handle it. Today, we're living in a world where we consume 3 times as much information as 30 years ago. 3 times as much. I think it's probably even more now because it's around us everywhere. It's around us everywhere. There's information everywhere. And it's hard to process all that, right? So what do? When you open up your phone, how many of you, one of the first things you do, you open up your phone and it's social media. You go right to Facebook or Instagram or something like that. Raise your hand. Yeah, I do it. Right, those that don't, awesome job. But what do? Well, you have to have boundaries. And you got to set them. One thing that I find that really works for me is my alarm is my phone. But so to prevent me from, sitting in bed and right when I get up and looking at my social media and emails and things like that, if you set it across the room, you'll get up, right? That can also help you from hitting the snooze button. But you have to set social media boundaries. How about the news? Who watches the news regularly? No, I don't, but I know a lot of people that do, and it's the same recycled stuff over and over and over and over and over again, right? And then each network has their own little slant that they do, right? It's true. It's true. There's no unbiased media. It just is what it is. Networks have an agenda, and that's fine. You just have to know that. Um, when I think of news, what's the evening news generally? Something about the president these days, something about COVID, something about terrorism, bad weather event, right? It's generally those four things. And what if those four things have in common? Right? Negative, 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 right? And studies show that there is negativity bias in the media. There is, because as humans, it's shock value, right? We are more psychologically activated by that negative news, by that bad weather, by that. We're just more attentive to it. And if we're more attentive to it, then yeah, they're going to feed that. That's like feeding a crack addict crack, right? You're just feeding it. They're just feeding it to us, and that it is what it is. So what do? You got to take a detox. A detox. I'm not saying you have to shut off your social media, get rid of that. You don't have to do that. But what you need to do, you need to set boundaries. As far as your news, you can get your news in 5 minutes. There's podcasts out there that can do a 5-minute news blip, right? And for those that have it on in the background all the time, right, you might not think you're paying attention, but your brain is hearing it. Your brain is hearing it. You are processing it. So turn it off. Turn it off. Plus, most of it's uncontrollable. The bad weather event in the Midwest, can you do anything about it? Right? Can you do anything about terrorism in the Middle East? No, you can't. It's uncontrollable. So don't try to control it. Who likes a good challenge? Who likes a good challenge? Who challenges themselves regularly? Who takes risks? Who takes risks? Stress. So what is when you think of the word stress, you think what do you think when you hear that word? When I think of stress, I think of fear, think of negative, you think, oh my, bad, things like that. Right? We're taught that stress is a bad thing. Taught that stress is a bad thing. Can it be a bad thing? Absolutely. Chronic stress can build up and lead to mental, physical problems, big time, right? But stress can also be a good thing. Stress can also be a good thing. Exercising stress, right? It's an outlet. My next question is, when did you last challenge yourself? Really challenge yourself. Really just go all out. When did you really go all out? Right? This could be professionally. Maybe you took on a promotion, a new lead in your job, a new project. It could be personally. Maybe you're doing a race. Maybe you're ramping up your workouts. Maybe you're buying a house. Things like that. When did you really challenge yourself and take a risk? For a lot of people, it's we're living in status quo. You're living in your comfort zone. But where the magic really happens is outside of that comfort zone. And I'm not saying go buy a $1 million house or something like that, or sign up for a marathon and you don't run. But you need to start taking risks. Is there anything wrong with routine and things like that? Absolutely not. It's good to have routines, but it's also important to take risks. Why? Well, taking risks, it leads to greater creativity, right? It leads to greater creativity, leads to greater success. Okay. According to a study, it helps you age better. That's a good thing, right? So if we take risks, we're wired for fear. We're wired to stay in our comfort zone. We're wired to fear failure, right? And the truth is, sometimes when you take risks, you're gonna have failures, but just have to learn from that, right? So taking risks and challenging yourself can really go a long way, whether it's both in your personal life, your professional life. You need to regularly challenge yourself. Strategy number 9, be selfish. Be selfish. Man, be selfish. What do you mean? What do you mean? Be selfish. If you're a people pleaser, this is for you. If you're a people pleaser, this is for you. You got to stop. You got to stop being a people pleaser all of the time, because much like stress, selfish, it has a negative connotation, right? When you think of selfish, you think of negative. But really, to accomplish something, you need to be a little selfish, because I can argue, if you're putting everyone else first and not putting yourself first. Let's say, for instance, you have a family, and for 15 years you don't put yourself first. You're putting your family first, and you're not kind of giving up on your health, right? If you do that, how are you going to be any good for your family? You're not going to be around a whole lot, right? You're not going to be operating at your best, right? You got to be a little selfish. I'm not saying ignore your family. I'm not saying shut yourself off from the rest of the world. But to be your best, you need to work on yourself. That involves regular self care, regular quiet time, regular exercise, regular time for yourself. Who doesn't have enough time, right? Well, everyone can find 10 to 30 minutes, can find 10 to 30 minutes, right? If you can't, you do a little time audit. And I know I don't have kids, and I have this, and I have home. I'm busy, but like you have to find time for yourself, because if you're not working on yourself, you're setting yourself up for massive failure in the end, and an unhappy life, right? You got to be a little selfish. You got to take care of yourself, and by doing that, by being a little selfish and taking care of yourself, right, that's setting the example for others around you, right? Self-care is good. Self-care is good. It's not good to just work yourself to death, right? That's selfish, because it's selfish, but by doing that, you're taking away from the people around you, right? By doing stuff like that. So be a little selfish. It's okay. Strategy number 10: pursue greatness, not perfection. Pursue greatness, not perfection. Perfection, right? Is this something we can achieve? No, we can't achieve it. So why are we trying? Why are we trying to achieve something that literally can't be done? And the big thing when people are setting goals and they're trying to change their life and instill these habits and practice them, major reason why people fail is when they have a bad day, they think it's all over just by having a bad day. One bad day is not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. If you've done a healthy thing for 12 straight days, and then on the 13th, you go a little off the wagon, right? It's not the end of the world. But the 13th day, by going off the wagon a little bit, do you think that's going to eliminate the first 12 days? No, of course not. Right? All the gains you made in those 12 days, of course not. Some people do, and they allow that one bad day to dictate and ruin it. Right? So instead of perfection, we need to pursue greatness. And greatness is the quality of being great, being great. And when you think, I love sports figures, and I love using them as examples, and certain ones that really stand out for me, in turn, when I think of greatness, think of Tom Brady, I think of Serena Williams, think of Mia Hamm, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, Usain Bolt. Those are greatness. They're greatness. But have they failed? Absolutely. Of course they failed. They failed. Tom Brady's lost a few Super Bowls. He isn't perfect. Usain Bolt's lost races. Michael Phelps went through a lot of personal troubles, right? They lose matches, they throw interceptions, they miss shots, they run subpar races. They aren't perfect. No one is. So be great, not perfect. You have all the greatness in you. You have all the greatness in you. You just need to find it. You just need to find it. 10 strategies right there. Those are your 10 strategies. So you got your blueprint. Got your blueprint, guys. All 10 strategies create the year and life you wanted right there. You can do all that. Right? I have no doubt if you did all of this and implemented this in your life, there's no doubt you'd be successful. Well, you're already successful. You already took this step, but there's no doubt you can reach your potential. Right? There's also no doubt if you tried to do all 10 of these at once that you would fail. right? Because you'd be overwhelmed, right? You can't implement 10 things at once. So cross them out. Cross them out. What I want you to do, pick one. Pick one. What is one thing you're going to implement? I know a lot of times when we go through these workshops, when we go to these conferences, you're bombarded with information. You want to do so many changes. When you try to change too many things at once, what happens? You don't change a thing. You crash and burn, right? That's what happens. So you have to start. It might seem boring. You got to start with one thing. By starting with one thing, that helps you build momentum. So it's time to get laser focused. And I love using this as an example as well. Don't love their food, but McDonald's. I find the entrepreneurial journey of McDonald's and where it is today and the history of McDonald's, I find it fascinating. But they started off with a hamburger, fries, and a soft drink. Okay, they kept it pretty simple. Kept it pretty simple as opposed to just starting off with a million different items at once. Not saying go have a hamburger, fries, and soft drink, but you have to start, you have to simplify and pick one out of this list. It's super important. Super important. I took this from the playbook from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. It's a magnificent book, and this is all about habit tracking. So if you need to strike while the iron is hot, who has gone to a conference or done something, and then they've waited a little while, and then it kind of their brain talked them out of doing something, right? Our brain can do that, right? Our brain can do that. So you just have to take action now. What is one thing you're going to do now? And habit tracking, here are 4 things that make habit tracking important. So let's say you wanted to add one thing to your morning routine. Okay, add one thing to your morning routine. First up, you got to make it obvious, right? You got to make it obvious. It needs to be something that you can do. And then when you track it, how does it make it obvious? Well, if you have a calendar tracking that you do this and you check it off each day, that's pretty obvious, right? Right. Something you can do, check it off each day. Okay. Make it attractive. Make it attractive. Well, I know nothing. I know that I love doing this. When I check things off and I see those check marks, that's pretty damn attractive. That's pretty damn satisfying, right? When we're able to check those off, 3 weeks down the road, when you got all those check marks, make it easy, right? You got to make your habit easy. You got to make your habit easy, because if it's not easy, and especially at first, I know I talked a lot about challenging yourself, but when you're just starting out with these with trying to instill these habits, implement these habits, right? If we're trying to do something super complicated, you gotta do the foundational stuff first, right? If someone's just starting out exercising, right, probably not a great idea to jump on the treadmill for 90 minutes. Hey, maybe it's 5 minutes, right? Maybe it's 5 minutes, and they're checking off, 5 minutes one week, 10 minutes the next. Maybe it's that. It seems silly and simple, but we don't do it all the time, right? We don't do it all the time. So make it easy. Set yourself up for success by making it easy. Then I talked a little bit about satisfying. You want to have, you want to make it satisfying, right? If it has no, if you can't relate to this goal or relate to this habit and don't really want to accomplish it, then what's the point? It's not gonna be very satisfying, right? You have to make it near and dear to your heart, and you have to make it so it works in your life. So get 1% better every day. What does that mean? Get 1% better every day. We have it on the exit here at the gym. Guys, compound interest, that's kind of how retirement accounts work, right? That's how we accrue wealth. That's how we build wealth. But habits, they're the compound interest of self-improvement, right? Compound interest of personal growth. And your actions are the currency, right, of who you want to become. Right? Your actions are the currency of who you want to become. Is a 1% improvement not, is it big? No, it's not. However, when we're talking in terms of compound interest, a 1% improvement every day for a year, results in an improvement 37 times what you started, right? It's compound interest at its finest. It's compound interest at its finest. I love this quote right here. And then we'll kind of open it up for some questions and takeaways, things like that. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. If you want to be a healthier person, what is we did it right here, right? You did it right here by showing up here. That's an action. You did it by having a piece of fruit. You did it by taking that walk. Whatever type of person you want to become, you wish to become, what are actions you can take, right? Those are votes. Those are votes. And I know most of you guys are from the gym, but if you're not, how do we get in contact with me? So our Facebook page, our Instagram, also our website, Adam Clark Fitness, then email Adam at Adam Clark Fitness. I have a book. It's kind of a guide. Take a lot of principles that we talked about today, and kind of give you a roadmap, a little bit more in depth with the book. It's a quick read, but it's a good read with some real life stories in there. This one's available on Amazon. It's also available in the gym. And then there I am. Does that look like me? I don't think so. I'm gonna stop my screen share, but then I want to open it up to some questions. So who's got questions? You can go ahead and unmute yourself. And it looks like Robin, you got a question?
Yeah, when you were talking about a checklist for our day, are there any apps? I mean, I already use my calendar for something, like something where you can just kind of make a checklist. These are what I need to do every day: sleep routine, exercise, everything, and check it off every day so you can look at it.
I'm sure there are apps out there, but it kind of depends. Are you I think a paper and pencil is the best way, because if you can put that in a place that's visible, in your house or next to your bed or wherever it may be, and check that off, that's going to be more visually appealing. So you can literally just on a calendar write what you want to do. So maybe it's morning routine, and have a smoothie in the morning, right? And you can check that off. It's just more visually appealing. I'm sure there's apps out there, but I think we technology can kind of it's great, but it also can make us brain dead in a way, right? It prevents us from thinking and doing stuff because it does it for us. It's almost too convenient. So I would recommend just writing it down, just having that checklist on a piece of paper. What other questions can I answer? Must have something. Takeaways, anything that really stood out to you? Perhaps, maybe not. Nothing. No comments. Nothing. Come on, Kim, you got something?
I'll comment. I like a comment.
Right.
I think something that stands out to me when you're talking about not doing everything all at once and being able to change everything all at once. For me, I know one of my big things is not saying yes to everything, because I try to be involved in everything and do everything and go to every workshop and do all these things. So that's one of the things that I've been trying to work on more, is just, it's okay to say no. And actually it's pretty freeing when you do it a few times and you're like, oh, I don't need to do everything and sign up for every committee at work or every thing. So that's what I'm going to work on.
Yeah, that's a great one. And that's it's selfish in a good way, right? It's selfish in a good way. Like you're and once you do it a few times, right? It's like practicing it. Once you practice it, you get better at it, right? But maybe that first time you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Someone may, they're going to think bad things about me, that I'm not signing up for that, but really they're not. Who else has questions, comments, feedback, anything that really stood out to them? Felicia probably is, she's rocking. She's laughing. Norma? Nothing at all. Gil doesn't have his camera on. course not. No, nothing. Can everyone flex for me? I want to take a picture. Well, I haven't got the picture up yet. You don't have to. Let's do this. Flex and smile. There we go. Oh, keep going. Keep going. Smile. Flex. Good. All right. Well, perfect, guys. Well, if you need anything, Angel, you got something, or someone got something? No. Crystal, you got something?
No, I was just gonna say thank you.
Oh yeah, no
I thought
problem.
maybe she was wondering if you could print off the top 10. Is that what you wanted? Like that you could print off, that you could check off the top 10 strategies?
I can post those. I can post those. Yeah, I'll
I don't
also
know if that's what
post.
she meant or not.
Yeah.
I don't know about an app, but I think
Yeah.
it's something that you could print and check off.
Mhm.
I know I do like checking things off too.
Well, it's satisfying, right? It's satisfying, right? When you cross off that to-do list, there's nothing like that. Does anyone add stuff to their to-do list after they've done that and crossed it off? No judgment.
Oh, yeah.
All
You
the
do?
time.
Okay. No
I
judgment.
definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I'm always a yes girl too, Kim. I'm always like, yes, one more thing I can get done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate. I'll post this too. I'll post this, so we'll have that up, and then we'll. If you need anything, please feel free, reach out. If you have any questions or anything, be happy to help. So appreciate you showing up, taking time out of your Saturday. So, all right,
Thanks,
guys.
Adam.
Well, I hope you have
Happy
a great
Easter,
day.
everyone.
Yes,
Yes,
happy Easter.
Easter.
Go crush it, guys. We'll see you later.
Yeah.